There are hard questions about how a police officer should conduct themselves as they guide a victim of sexual assault through the embarrassing, ugly process of pressing charges. How close is too close? Can one stay objective while making a victim feel safe, believed, and understood? And perhaps, most importantly, is it okay to threaten to take away their children if they don't engage in nude catfights? If you just said, wait, what the fuck did Lucinda just say? Then you've come to the right podcast, because yes, that's what our first story is about. Former Detective Alan Large, who was fired from the force last year in the wake of sexual harassment allegations, allegedly offered to help a rape victim in his care to see her children, find a job, and find a home, in exchange for participation in naked catfights. When she refused, probably by asking where the cameras from What Would You Do were, he threatened to limit her access to her children. The case also states that when Large began to investigate the victim's case, he told her she was beautiful and said he, quote, could understand how a man could be turned on by her and unable to resist himself, end quote. So yes, he assured her that he too would like to rape her, but in a good way. But hey, if that story bums you out, just remember, anything we can do, some asshole in Iran can do better. Case in point, last week, 8 photographers, models, and modeling agents were arrested in Iran for having, and dear motherfucking shit on a stick, I wish I was making this up, un-Islamic hair, and for not covering their heads on Instagram. The arrests were announced by the court's prosecutor Javad Babay during a state television program broadcast late on Sunday that focused on the threats to morality and the foundation of family posed by social media. Let me say that again. These motherfuckers dedicate TV time to who on Facebook isn't quite crazy enough and the danger of head pubes. And finally tonight, some good news, because this week I get to leave you with the story of an asshole getting his due. This week, Louisiana proposed House Bill 468, which would raise the minimum age for strippers from 18 to 21. Now, this is a fairly standard piece of legislation meant to protect people from predatory club owners. However, Representative Kenneth Harvard decided he'd had enough. In a move that he's now insisting was satire of big government, he proposed a maximum age and weight limit, much to the merriment of his male colleagues, because apparently satire is now assholeese for I'd like to say something shitty that I think is true and not be held accountable for it later. But Lucinda, you cry, you promised us a happy story. Well, have no fear, because Republican Representative Julie Stokes ripped him so many new assholes, even Eli would get bored. Following what I can only assume was Harvard's attempt to turn a state senate into the food fight from Animal House, Stokes got up and delivered an absolutely scalding speech about his behavior. Seriously, folks, if you want a pep in your step, we'll have the video linked on the show notes. It gave me the warm tinglies to watch her turn a room of chortling man-goblins into the chastened, sulky children that they are. And while I patiently await the email that asks why it's okay for me to say man-goblins, but not okay for Sargon of Akkad to declare Friday's rape day, or whatever poisonous fuckery he's up to this week, I'll give you back to Noah, Heath, and Eli.